distance, and the transformation of a heart. The phone rang in the quiet midday air of the small house. Jack's mother picked it up, her voice gentle. "Let's call Tien and see how she's doing." "Tien, are you going harvesting today?" On the other end, Tien replied politely, "Hello, Annie. I'm at the farm right now." Jack's mother smiled, picturing the petite girl amidst rows of green vegetables. "How have you been feeling since starting the medicine?" she asked, her tone full of concern. "I'm fine, auntie. I just feel a little sleepy, that's all," Tien answered softly. Jack's mother sighed in relief, offering advice. "Make sure you eat well, okay? If you don't, the medicine might make you tired." Tien agreed, then gently declined an invitation to visit. "I'll arrange some time to come play with you later, Auntie." The brief conversation was warm, like an invisible thread connecting the family. Jack's mother thought to herself, "Thank goodness, the girl's strong, so the medicine doesn't seem to tire her out." That afternoon, Jack returned home after a long day. "Mom, is Jack back?" he greeted, stepping into the living room where his mother was watching the news, a steaming cup of water on the table. They chatted, from the weather turning sunnier to Jack's grand plans. He shared his dream of starting a company, searching for a 1,000 square meter space, but still unsatisfied with the options. "I want to do it right, to help the poor like Grandpa wanted," he said, his voice low but resolute. His mother listened, then advised, "I don't think you need to start with a big workshop, son. Uncle Tang began small and has kept it going for years." Jack nodded, his gaze distant. He didn't just want a business. He wanted to forge his own path, to bring meaning to life. Then Jack mentioned his upcoming trip abroad. "I want to meet Brother Hong to learn some experience before opening the company," he explained. His mother agreed. "Go ahead and explore. Gaining experience is good." She asked him to visit Tien before leaving and promised to look after her in his absence. Jack nodded, a mix of warmth and worry rising in his chest. He thought of Tien, her gentle smile, her resilience. He didn't want to leave her, but this trip was necessary. Late that afternoon, Jack drove to Tien's farm. She was sitting with an open notebook, studying, her handwriting neat like her personality. Seeing him enter, she looked up. "Have you been here long?" Jack smiled. "Just got here." "Are you studying?" He set down a bag, rice, noodles, milk, and breakfast items he'd bought for her. "I noticed the medicine makes you sleepy, so I got some things to help you stay nourished," he said tenderly. Tien smiled. "I still have rice. You didn't need to buy more." They talked about fixing the pigsty and how she'd cut back on harvesting to preserve her strength. Then Jack hesitated. "Tien, I'll have to go abroad for a while." She paused. "Will it be long?" He shook his head. "Not sure yet, but I'll call you." Tien nodded, hiding the emptiness creeping into her heart. "Go with peace of mind. I'll manage and visit Auntie," she said, her voice steady. Jack looked at her, his heart tightening. "I'll send you photos," he promised. Tien smiled. "Yes, I'd love to see you over there." They shared a simple meal of noodles she cooked. "It tastes so good because you made it," Jack said, his eyes warm. Tien blushed. "I just hope you travel safely." Night fell, and Jack returned home to pack. The next morning, he headed to the airport. The sky was misty as he passed through security, texting Tien, "I'm boarding now. Be good at home." She received it while sitting by the window, gazing at the fields. She smiled, but a vague unease stirred within her. She didn't know that Jack's departure would open the door for someone else to enter her life, bringing unexpected changes. In another corner of the story, Tone, a young, successful CEO, watched Tien from afar. Years ago, when he was a struggling boy, he'd collapsed in the forest from hunger and illness. Tien, then just a simple farm girl, found him, gave him water, and nursed him back to health. Tien never forgot her kindness, but more than gratitude, he'd fallen silently in love with her. He left for the city, built a career, and quietly helped Tien whenever she struggled, sending money for pigsty repairs or medicine through intermediaries, never revealing himself. He'd confessed his love to her more than once, only to hear her say, "I already have Jack." Tien stepped back, but his feelings never faded. When he learned Jack was going abroad, Tien saw his chance. He started visiting Tien's farm more often. One morning, as she struggled to fix a leaking pigsty roof, Tien appeared, carrying a large bag. "Tien, let me help," he said, his voice warm. She looked up, surprised. "Tien, why are you here?" He smiled. "I was passing by on business and saw you working hard." He rolled up his sleeves, fixed the roof swiftly, then pulled out milk, pastries, and supplements from the bag. "You're on medicine. You need to eat well," he said, caring in his tone. Tien thanked him, but a flicker of confusion crossed her mind. In the days that followed, Tien kept showing up. He brought fresh vegetables from the city, repaired the farm gate, even hired help for her heavy tasks. He was gallant, attentive, always there when she needed him. One rainy afternoon, as Tien got drenched covering the pigsty, Tien arrived with an umbrella and new raincoat. "You can't get sick," he said, gently draping the coat over her. Tien looked at him, her heart stirring at his sincerity. "Thank you, Tien, but you don't have to do this," she said softly. Tien smiled sadly. "I just want you to be happy. Abroad." Jack called Tien every night. "I miss you so much," he said through the screen. She smiled. "Me too. Come back soon." But she didn't mention Tien, not wanting to worry him. Slowly, Tien became a familiar presence in her life. He told her about his tough past, about the day she saved him in the forest. "I've never forgotten you, Tien," he said one evening, sitting on her porch. She stayed silent, her heart wavering. One day, Tien took her hand, looking into her eyes. "I know you love Jack, but I can't stop loving you. I'll wait, no matter how long." Tien pulled back, but this time she didn't reject him outright. She thought of Jack, the distance, the times he was too busy to check on her. Then she thought of Tien, his warmth, his patience. Her heart was in turmoil. She began missing Tien when he wasn't around, smiling when he appeared. Her love for Jack remained, but a part of her heart had opened to Tien. The day Jack prepared to board his flight home, he stood before the mirror, checking his luggage. He thought of Tien, longing to hold her again. At home, she received his text, "I'm on my way back to you." She smiled, but tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't know how she'd face Jack, now that her heart held more than just him. Tien watched her from a distance, his eyes full of hope. Is this trip abroad Jack's way of testing Tien's feelings? Perhaps not intentionally, but the distance he created unwittingly gave Tien an opening. Their love, once simple and deep, now stood at a crossroads. When Jack returned, would Tien stay with him? Or had her heart truly shifted toward Tone's steadfast devotion? Only she could answer, but Jack's journey, by chance or fate, had become the greatest test of their love.